It's time for the Brickyard. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the third round of the 1957 Formula 1 season. We are here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the world-famous Indy 500. You may associate Indianapolis as an IndyCar circuit, but in the early days of Formula 1, this race was part of the World Championship. And that's exactly what we are doing today at this famous oval. So let's take a quick look at today's starting grid. On pole once again is Jack Palmer, who has won the first two races this season, and just behind him is his old rival Alberto Ascari in P2. Francois Sever has had a fantastic start to his first season in HF1, and he starts on the second row in P3 alongside title chaser Sebastian Vettel. Kimi Räikkönen also had a good start to the season and starts P5. Jenson Button put in a good performance at Monaco last week and starts P8 today. However, Nico Rosberg has had a difficult start to the season and will be starting in P10. The last of the finishers at last week's Monaco Grand Prix was Valtteri Bottas, who starts at P12. Defending champion Emerson Fittipaldi starts way back in P15 after his accident last week, and it's already crucial that he recovers well today. And right on the last row today is the two Brits of Damon Hill and Jim Clark. One of the fastest races on the calendar is almost ready to get underway here, and 20 laps await the drivers. 4 left-hand corners per lap, but don't let that fool you. We have no idea what to expect. So let's go and find out and head to the grid for the 1957 Indianapolis 500. So, welcome to Indianapolis. It feels good to be here, and I'm kind of in two minds about this race, because obviously the first time we're here, it was an incredible race, pretty much a race-long battle between me and Fittipaldi and Ascari. Last year, nothing happened. It was the most boring race of the season, and I literally took the lead and that was it. But nowadays, well, this race, I don't know what to think, because basically during practice I was 2 seconds off the pace, so I'm really not too sure. To be fair, the car doesn't feel like it belongs here. Obviously, this being a Formula 1 car, it didn't feel right. I just didn't feel comfortable taking this car around here in comparison to other cars. So I'm really not too sure what to expect. Obviously, I've got Alberto next to me right there, so I'm really not too sure what's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to it, and we won't be seeing Indianapolis for long, so make the most of it. Obviously, at some point, maybe next season or the year or the season after that, Indianapolis will disappear from the calendar. So yeah, we make the most of it, all you Indy fans, because it won't be here forever, because obviously it isn't on the Formula 1 calendar anymore. So yeah, anyways, so we're 3 races in now. This is the third race of the season. We've had Argentina, Monaco, and obviously I lead the championship by quite some margin, 12 points ahead of Vettel and everyone else who's still on 6 points. So I'm not too sure what else I can do. The main worry I have is that after this, the races get very, very difficult. We have Rouen-les-Arcs and Aintree coming up, and they are 2 tricky tracks, Rouen especially. Then we have Nürburgring, we have the Feldbergring, and then Monza, which isn't too bad, but can still spring up some difficult races from time to time. So I do want to win this race because I know how hard it's going to get, but I'm a little bit worried because of my times here are a lot slower than everyone else's. Because you guys told me off last time we were here that I was using the apron too much, so that's what I'm doing. Don't worry, I'm not going to be using the apron, because I hold my hands up to say I really don't know the rules about oval racing. So yeah, I'm going to try and stick to the rules. I don't want to cheat. Speaking of sticking to the rules and not cheating, the grid will get off really slowly here for some reason. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go off slowly just so then I'm not cheating and taking complete advantage of the AI. I will also say I've got a bit of a cold coming on at the moment, which explains why I'm a little bit. So my apologies for that. I'm trying my best to be as enthusiastic as possible as we're here in the United States of America. That's the rest of the grid here, and yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical, and I'm like I said, I'm excited for this race, but also I want it to go well because obviously there's a season to fight for here. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Francois Sever, who's right behind me, he obviously has had a fantastic start to the season and has obviously scored points which will pretty much guarantee your survival. I've also come up with some plans for next season, season 4, which could spice things up even further in terms of how the format, weekend format, and grid formations are set, because at the moment we decide grid positions for the next race depending on the finishing positions of the previous race. So if I finish P2 here today, the next race at the French Grand Prix I will start P2 and so on. So it's all about consistency. You stay consistent, you have a good chance of winning the championship. And my main rival, Emerson Fittipaldi, is P15, so I've got to be worried to make sure he doesn't come back up. But anyway, I've been talking too long. I think we should get this race underway here at Indianapolis. So let's wait for the lights. Okay, here we go. The lights are about to go here at Indianapolis for the 500. What can we expect? And we are go. Not quite slow as I thought. Alberto Ascari is rocketed off. I did not expect that. Everyone else has got off quite slowly. I'm kind of using this line in the track as my reference of sort of staying around this line. But Alberto Ascari is leading now, which is not what I want. It's not ideal, and Sebastian Vettel's taking P2. He's directly behind me in the championship. Oh, big slide. Up to 5th, and we'll pretty much be staying 5th the entire time. Remember, no ballast this season. It's just pure engine now. Pure car, no ballast, nothing. We don't need it. So we'll just follow down. I'm not panicking just yet, because this is obviously still lap 1. No need. But, like I said, Alberto Ascari leading, Sebastian Vettel in second. And I think Sever is still behind me, which is good, obviously, is my teammate. And we're almost three abreast as we complete the first lap. Jesus. No. Oh, collide with the wall. I can't get off it. Luckily we didn't lose a position. Kind of forgot where my braking point was. But luckily we survived to live another lap. This was, of course, and still considered one of the fastest and most dangerous races in the world, really. Especially here in the 1950s, no seat belts. As soon as you touch the wall, you get catapulted off into another realm. So far so good. P3 is okay. It's hard to look at the rest of the grid at the moment because obviously these corners, when I'm on the straight, I'll have a little glance. So we got Raikkonen, who's now behind me. Jenson Button's in P6. Where's Fittipaldi? Fittipaldi's in P14, so he's still a long way away. I'm going to brake here because I was worried I would go slamming into the back of Ascari. These two clearly fighting for the lead. I've got to be careful. No retirement so far. But Jim Clark and Damon Hill are currently fighting to not be last. Full power. Let's try and get past Vettel here. Thought we were going to go and collide then, luckily we didn't. braking. Gonna let him go ahead. God, this is quite tense, guys. Not gonna lie. Remember, don't abuse the apron. Otherwise you guys will just shout at me in the comments like you did last time. Let's try and get some slipstream from Vettel, but at the same time he's getting slipstream from Ascari. This is so fast. I haven't even done the fastest lap yet. It's all been Ascari so far. Jenson Button and no, sorry. Alain Prost now has the fastest lap. 1 minute 11.3. So maybe they are going to be a threat later on. Who knows? Fittipaldi's now dropped down to P15, so he's not having a good recovery of his title defence. Every point counts, as this season is only 8 races long, so every point matters. As we get really close now to Vettel, he's just slightly braked there. I noticed that. I don't know why, but we taken P2. And I've got a little bit wide. Vettel's on my left, got to be aware of him. Still there. Still hear him. And he retakes P2, but only briefly. I'm going to come back at him. Wow. Sometimes I really do like oval racing, but we've had a good launch. And we're side by side for the lead now. Ascari is on my left. Keep it calm. And that's the fastest lap for me as well. Oh, I've slightly grazed the wall there. Gone wide. Ascari's coming back at me. My old rival from 1950. He wants revenge. He's going to have to fight for it. And he's retaking the lead. It's not what I want. Now Sever's dropped down to P6, I've just noticed. He's not having a good race. So I've noticed they're oh, that could have ended so badly. A little bit of poos just shot out there. But luckily no damage done, and Ascari retakes the lead, and I'll come back at him. Oh, this is high five. Right, I'm retaking the lead of lap 6. Oh no, turn, please. He's gone on to my inside, I noticed that. It's still right there though. Alright, so we've got the lead now. It's going to be, I expect it to be difficult to hold on to. Sebastian Vettel's closer, and he is indeed. Only 3/10 of a second behind me. No skid marks on the road though. Right, can I capitalise on this and really form a gap? It's still there, so is Ascari. 2 Clarkson to P16, that's pretty good. Considering he started P20, we're right at the back. Oh crap. Oh crap. Hold it. Good. I've actually got Rally Sweden going on in the background. Obviously I've muted it for the purposes of this video. It's the first time I've actually watched a rally event live. It's good to learn about it. I don't really know how it works, so I've been thoroughly enjoying that. So I've gone into it not really know who the drivers are or anything or whatever, but yeah, it's been good. So I'm now 2 seconds ahead of Vettel, so I'm obviously doing something. I mean, it's good when you haven't got to worry about other drivers in front of you. Naturally you will be faster. But I've still got to be concerned. It's still very early. I'm not even halfway yet. So there might be another driver somewhere that might want to come up and challenge me. Keeping my eye on this line here. Sort of move around it. Don't want to be accused of cheating. At least we can relax a little bit now. I think Ascari is slowly catching on me. Now he's got past Vettel. It does seem to be slowly getting bigger in my mirrors. Every time I sort of glance at them, he's there. Getting slowly bigger. Feel the anger in his eyes just burning the back of my head. There's still no retirements, which I'm surprised, but also quite pleased about. See, last year's didn't have anything. When I went to get the replays, there was literally nothing. And there was no replay camera for this track. I tried downloading one before this race, so I could get some decent replays for the highlights and everything, but it just didn't work. Yep, they're both still there. So Vettel's now back up to 4th. Raikkonen's down to 5th. Button's still 6th. Can't really see any other surprises. I mean, Senna's back up to P11. Got a bit wide. And Fangio is now in P20, so not a good race for him. He's had an okay start to the season, but yeah, that's a shame. Hopefully he can score some points, because I think having the grid without Fangio would be extremely weird. I've got to sneeze. I feel like I need to sneeze. Where's the sun? I don't know where the sun is. As soon as I look at the sun, I might. I had to lift off there slightly because I felt like I was about to go colliding into that wall. Vettel's now back up to P2. Prost just moved up to P6. So they're still there, still keeping an eye on them. It's crucial that I don't make a mistake. Sun's up there. But now the feeling of needing to sneeze has just disappeared. Which I'm very sad about, because I was looking forward to that sneeze. I also had a cat trying to get in to my flight this morning. I went out to put some recycling out, and there's a bloody cat by my door. Obviously he got scared and everything, sort of went to run off, stopped, just stared at me for like a good 10 seconds, and then just ran off. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but A, you're not my cat, and B, I'm not allowed pets here. Because that's the risk, isn't it? You start feeding them, looking after them and all that, and then eventually they'll just take over your entire house. Don't get me wrong, I love cats, but yeah, I'm sorry buddy, I can't have you in my flat. You know, what if I'm sim racing, like now, and you decide to just make a home right behind my pedals or something? Or want to sit on my lap whilst I'm driving around Indianapolis? There's certain things you've got to worry yourself about. Still, we're about to complete lap 11, still in the lead. Ascari is 1.7 seconds behind. Surveyor's now back down to P5. Not many other interesting results going on, or any battles that I'm aware of. Vanjo's now 4 seconds adrift in P20. Oh. Nearly panicked. You see, it's kind of similar situation to last year, well, last season. I took the lead, and then literally nothing happened. Like, I think I was like a second or a second and a half faster than everyone else per lap. This time it's a little bit different. They're still there, so they'll be ready to pounce on me if I do make a mistake. And like I've said previously, I decided not to use vintage Indy cars, purely because I wanted the season to be, you know, consistent. Oh god. Wanted to be consistent with the cars. We'll be using this car all season and not use anything else. I do have a couple of Indy Roadsters from this era that I could have used, but I thought just to keep the season consistent, we would just use the Maseratis again. And it doesn't feel comfortable, like I said, it still doesn't. I'm still not used to it. It still doesn't really like overracing, and you can feel it. But still a car at the end of the day. Got quite felt myself going quite wide then. That's allowed Ascari to catch up a little bit. He's now second behind. I can see him quite large in my mirrors. And then still catching. So we're about to begin lap 14. So we're almost at the end of this race now. I've only got 6 laps left. Also did some online racing, when was it? Last week, I think? Was it? Or was it Tuesday? I can't remember. But I did it recently. I jumped into a Lotus Exos 125, if that's what they're called. Because a good friend of mine invited me along, and I thought, okay, yeah, why not? Because for me and my anxiety, this is going to get personal now. My anxiety kind of really affects me in online gaming. Like, for me, it's a terrifying prospect, playing online games. And even if I really like the game, like, for example, Battlefield 1, I used to absolutely love that game. And Hell Let Loose as well. And obviously Assetto Corsa, you know. I just was really anxious about doing online games. So even though touch the wall there. Even though I've been playing, you know, Battlefield 1 online for a long time, it would still, I think, how many hours did I put into that? I think about 2,000 hours. Well, might be more than that, I can't remember. But, you know, playing that with friends was fine, and then playing it with just on my own was completely different. I would avoid it as much as possible. Like, if I really want to play like a game online and a friend of mine wasn't going to be available, I just wouldn't play the game, even though I really wanted to. It's the same thing with Hell Let Loose as well, and plenty of other games, etc. out there. It's the same for Assetto Corsa. But I tried it out for the first time with a friend. We were driving those 2 cars, the Exos at Monza, and there was only like 7 other cars, but it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. I did it in VR, as I always do. I just much prefer VR because it feels so much more realistic, and my driving is also better. So that's pretty much what I do VR all the time. But yeah, so I raced against him. I beat him. I beat my friend, of course I did. And it was good fun, even though I couldn't really hear him the entire time because the engine was so loud. And yeah, and we did actually crash into each other at some point. It was completely my friend's fault, as you probably see. I'll put up a replay or something now, but you can easily see it was not my fault. I'm the car on the left. I go to overtake him, and he just goes right into me. That is 100% his fault. So Craig, you have been called out. But if you want to see that, if you want to see me and him, like, because we do have brilliant chemistry, just saying. So if you want to see some online racing and just me and him just having a laugh and just playing around, then do let me know in the comments. And I'm also thinking maybe, because I noticed there's a severe lack of anything historical in terms of the servers available. So I was thinking about setting up some historical servers in F1 and sports car or whatever. So then you guys can obviously join the servers and drive out with other people, of course. But also me. Maybe I'll do some live streams where I'm in one of my servers and you guys can join and, you know, challenge me and have races together. I think that'd be really good. But yeah, definitely I want to feature online racing at some point. Because I feel like it could be really fun and funny, just me and my friend just, you know, not quite mucking around, but just, you know, just having fun. And maybe I can race against some of you viewers as well. So we've got 3 laps to go. Here it's at Indy. Oh god, gone quite wide. Ah, there's a Scaru there. We've caught up now, so I've got to be careful. So this is the crunch time now for the Indy 500. For some reason though, my car seems quite slow. I'm not too sure what's happened. Have I taken damage somewhere and it's just... Well, speaking of that online race that I did with my friend, I actually did win it in the end, which I was quite chuffed about. My first online race and I won it by some considerable margin. Not to blow my own trumpet or anything, but yeah. But I do want to do it more often. So yeah, racing against AI is great and all, but racing against real people, I think we'll just spice things up even more. And oh crap, I did not see him. So could we have a battle? 2 laps to go here in the Indy 500, and Sebastian Vettel has just retaken the lead. Or should I say taken the lead? I don't think he was ever in the lead. I can hear him still. I've got the right hand. He's still there. Oh god, no, gone wide. Come on. We're about to start the last lap. Sebastian Vettel's just taken the lead. I could be in trouble here. So I feel like I'm struggling with the car. Right, last lap begins now. And it's a straight battle between me and Sebastian Vettel. Oh, touched the wall. I'm getting all out of shape. I feel like I'm panicking slightly. He's still there. still there. He's right behind me now. He's going to be in my slipstream. Or will he? No, there he is. Didn't mean to merge over to the left there. Right, he's still there. Full power. Foot to the floor. Brake slightly. Turn the car in. Throw it in. Oh my god, he's still here. We could be in for a dead heat here. No, he seemingly has backed off. The final straight. And I think that's enough. Cross the line. One. That's it. Whew. That was a slight scare at the end there. I was slightly worried. But we've done it. We've won the Indy 500. That was quite tense at the end there, I must admit. I was a little bit worried. I think I just said that, didn't I? I said that twice in like 2 seconds. Oh well, I don't know. But yeah, it's a victory here in Indianapolis. And I've got to make the most of it, because it's going to get really difficult from now on. But let's take a look at the results and see where we stand. So that was an interesting race. That was somewhere in the middle of expectations. We did have some battles, but at the same time, for most of the middle part of that race, nothing much really happened. But still, we have a winner and we have our point scorers. And we've got a couple of surprises here as we look at the results in front of you. Jack Palmer, of course, winning that race, his third win out of 3 this season, with 6 races still left to go. We're not halfway through, so do not get excited. And Sebastian Vettel once again finishing in second, and Alberto Ascari, the last podium finisher, in P3. Francois Sever continued his great start and finished P4 in the end, with Kimi Räikkönen in P5. Alain Prost continues his decent start as well. He finishes in P6 again. But if we look further down, Valtteri Bottas has shown a little bit of an improvement and finished in P9, and Enzo Fittipaldi continues his recovery from the Monaco Grand Prix and finished P10 in the end. Elsewhere, Jackie Stewart P13, Nico Rosberg even worse on P14 for him, with Jim Clark just behind him in P15. Elsewhere we got Graham Hill, who started P8 I believe, or P9, P16, so something must have happened to him at some point. And Fangio right to the back there, with Mika Häkkinen just in front of him, P19. So a mixed bag of results there, but again, right to the top, pretty much the usual suspects. So, but that's going to be interesting as we have a look at the World Championship standings then. Jack Palmer still continues to be at top of the table, now with 27 points, as he gained an additional point from fastest lap. Sebastian Vettel, however, continues to be in second with only 12 points, so still quite away from Jack Palmer, but everybody else behind him are fairly close, with Alberto Ascari now moving up to third place with 10 points. Everyone else kind of shifted upwards. Kimi Räikkönen now has 8 points, Francois Sever with 7, and Emerson Fittipaldi drops down all the way down to 6th, as he has now scored no points in the last 2 races. Jackie Stewart still remains 7th with 2 points, and everyone else still yet to score points. So that was the Indy 500. Again, nothing much really happened. There's pretty much going to be 0 replays, so I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet for you guys. Next week is the French Grand Prix at Rouen-les-Arcs, and I fully expect that to be extremely difficult race. Why? Because it's really fast, but it's also extremely narrow, with a lot of elevation changes as well, and a lot of obstacles to just snap you up and just get rid of you. So it's going to be pretty difficult, along with every other race that's going to be after that. And I'm sure that one's going to be eventful. It's going to be eventful. We're going to have to really try and practice and just get the absolute most out of the car there, because that is going to be so difficult. And that'll be next week as usual at 5 PM. and between now and then, midweek, I have planned another Grand Prix Legends video, because I know you guys have been eager to see more of that. So Grand Prix Legends should be out during the week next week, and I thoroughly look forward to the race that I'm going to be attempting, and I have actually been putting in practice to show you guys I'm not that bad at it. Trust me, it will be worth it. So join us then, and yeah, I hope you have a great rest of the week, and yes, take care out there, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.